The problems ultimately, I think, with Wolfram's model are the same problems with Einstein's model, with, a few subtracted because of the kind of ingenious ways that he's done this. It seems to be deterministic at base because it's purely computational, which is a problem because the universe must have free will, and that has to actually map its way to not only human beings, but to a kind of generic form throughout the universe. The universe is actually creating its own structure. It's self-determined. It's self-determining, and that property of the universe maps to all strata. So Wolfram describes himself as an animist, but he doesn't really, I think, grasp the implications of what does it mean that we're in a living universe. Consciousness is not, some emergent phenomenon that hypergraphs make to solve some problems with timelines like it is in Wolfram's model, but consciousness is actually fundamental. We need to return to the Wheeler interpretation of quantum mechanics, which shows that the universe is actually given shape and structure by the creation of observer participants within it, with God, or the universal mind, if you will, at the base substrate of reality, harmonizing all of these perspectives across time to create what would dualistically be termed an objective universe. But as Tyler Goldstein, the author of Sentient Singularity Theory, points out, that when you take all of these perspectives and they're harmonized across time, it's actually a supersubjective universe. It's the, combined externalization of all subjects in the universe, all sentient beings, which means that that sentience and sentient beings are really the base substrate of the universe. Wolfram seems to retain faith kind of in an objective universe, a universe out there independent of cognition or perception, like a Cartesian space which totally excludes the observer, where an advanced kind of idealist approach to objectivity as supersubjectivity, I think, is more appropriate, where perception in the CTMU is actually externalizing internal realities, and that these are being harmonized, and the universe has to have a mechanism to do all of these things, and that is necessarily God. So Wolfram has not grasped the concept, I think, that the universe is actually experiencing itself and observing and creating itself through human beings. He said that we're, computationally bounded observers, and we have the same limitations as the universe, and that's true, but we also have the same properties as the universe, and that endows the universe with the properties of self-awareness, because we are totally contained within the universe. So life and consciousness are not emergent, but they're latent properties of the universe. They're latent properties of the medium in which living and conscious things are embedded by definition. So ultimately, I think the metaphysical extension of the Wolfram model, there are a lot of things which he gets really close to, is actually a return to a very classical conception of the universe of Vedanta, Hinduism, and Neoplatonism, for instance. So God is essentially seeing what it's like not to understand everything, to be a computationally bounded observer participant. God is confusing himself, but like I said, to understand himself in a richer and deeper way. So it's an expression of Leela in Hinduism. It's the creative play of the divine absolute. This is the fundamental fact of our reality. This is the perspective you need to actually make sense of the rules of the universe, or why there is a universe at all. An infinity of infinitesimal souls, syntactic operators, which reflect the structure of the syntax of reality, much like Leibniz's monadology. It's infinity collapsing on itself to give the appearance of finitude. It's all divine play, and so again, I'm really excited by the Wolfram Physics project, in particular in a computational model which embeds how the universe's laws are actually generated. If we can figure out the rules of the universe, then we can finally finish physics and understand complex systems, and perhaps ultimate reality itself as our own highest level of identity, that which carries and sustains us throughout all time. So mine is the faith that like what John Wheeler said, that behind all of this, behind all of reality, there is an idea so simple, so beautiful, that when we grasp it in a decade, a century, or a millennium, we will all say to each other, how could it have been otherwise?